Hello, my name's Josh. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I've recently been through a divorce. Thanks for coming back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk about something that I call being stuck in divorce limbo. It is something I've never really heard anyone actually talk about before. It's something I experienced, and I think for people especially who have divorces that take a little while, they feel like they get stuck into. So I know that early on in the divorce process, there's a lot of pain involved. There's a lot of healing, trying to make sense of things. It's a very difficult time. But as the divorce process draws out, assuming that that's part of your experience, so for instance, my divorce took about 18 months to finish from when it was started until we were finally divorced. You get stuck into a phase where you're kind of ready to move on, but you can't because the judge has not signed those papers yet. That's what I refer to as divorce limbo. You want to move on, but you kind of can't because you're legally constrained. It isn't painful the way that the beginning of the divorce is, but it's much more of a slow burn. It's this kind of ache that you have within you to just have this divorce be over with, to get to the next phase, of your life, to whatever it is, so that you can kind of keep moving on from this relationship that is now ending. And it can be kind of grueling. And it really just, when I think of the term enduring to the end, that's kind of what this limbo is you're just enduring to the end of this marriage at this point. It's no fun. And if you're stuck in that position, my heart goes out to you because it can be difficult. And, it was only 18 months for me. I know some people who it's taken much, much longer for their divorce to be finalized. And so my heart really does go out for you if you're stuck in that position. And like I said, I never really hear people talk about it. But it was definitely something I went through. So if you're going through it, you're not alone. Other people go through it. I don't know if they just don't identify it as what it is, or if you kind of forget about it once the divorce is finalized and over, you just kind of are able to move forward. But if you're stuck in that position, or if you're not there yet, but you know it's going to be a while till your divorce is finalized, you'll probably get to that place of feeling like you're in limbo. I'll give you a couple hints that helped me get through that limbo phase. The first one may seem like a no-brainer, but unfortunately it isn't for some people. And it is, do not seek out new relationships. At this point in time, don't seek someone of the opposite sex to go on dates with or anything of that nature. To be honest with you, I would also be highly careful of making new friends of the opposite gender in this period. I'm not saying you can't make friends of the opposite gender, just be very, very careful. Because at this point, you want anything that will help make you feel like you're moving on. And a relationship is a very kind of cheap and easy way to get that feeling. And in the end, you're going to get hurt, or you're going to hurt someone else, or both. So avoid relationships at this point. Avoid new relationships during that limbo phase, or at least be very, very careful with them. The second piece of advice I would give is, and this is the one that I would say really, really was helpful to me, was use this time as kind of a time to plan your future. You really can't execute on a lot of things. Maybe you have a business you want to try to open, or maybe you have an idea of something you want to do, but you really can't start doing that thing until the divorce is final for any number of reasons. Take this time to plan it out. Take this time to do research. I mean, for me, for instance, I knew when I searched for LDS divorce help in YouTube, there was nothing. I found pretty much nothing there. So I decided earlier that I wanted to just create something to help people out on YouTube. So during this limbo phase, I knew nothing about YouTube. I knew nothing about how to shoot a video, how to edit a video, or any of the stuff that goes into making a YouTube video. So during this time, I researched it. I learned about it. I figured out what equipment I would probably have to buy, what software I would have to buy, and just how this whole thing even works. So, and actually there was a couple things I did too during this time. As I looked into other kind of, over the years, I'd had different maybe little small business ideas or other ways to kind of make side income that I had thought about over the years, but I just never had really executed on. Well, now I was in this time of limbo. I might as well do research into it and figure out if it's something I'm even interested in pursuing anymore. And in most cases, the answer was no, I'm not really that interested in it. But at least I took that time to research and put some time into it. So again, the second piece of advice I would give is start planning for your future. So that when the divorce is finalized, you can kind of hit the ground running with maybe some future plans of yours. The other thing that I really focused on was self-improvement during this time. What ways could I really work on myself? And that could be spiritually, that could be physically, emotionally, mentally. It really didn't matter. But what were some ways that I knew that I needed to improve, and that I could either start the process of reading books, watching YouTube videos, looking for classes in the area that would help me in this process of self-improvement. But whatever that thing is, that limbo time was really helpful for me in that regard. So I really focused on this self-improvement during this period of time as well. The final thing, and this was because I had children that I was looking at, was, okay, what am I going to do to transition my children once this divorce is finalized? Is there anything I can do to transition them? I mean, I already had them in counseling, so I actually talked to the counselor about it, as a matter of fact. Like, what were some things I could do to help them once it was finalized? And depending on your children and your situation, there's a whole variety of things you could do. But what I found was asking myself, a couple questions. Well, first of all, in recap, avoid new relationships, and especially avoid any kind of a dating relationship at all. But be very careful with any kind of new friendship. Be very, very careful of that. Second one, is there some sort of interest that you've never pursued? And if so, take time to research that now and look into it and see if it's something that when the divorce is final, you want to pursue. Third one, focus on self-improvement. However that may look for you, focus on it and see and put in that work during that period of time. And then the fourth one is, and this is if you have children, look into how you can help your children transition once the divorce is finalized. Now, none of those things will take that feeling of limbo and trying just to endure to the end away. What they do, though, is fill that time with meaningful things that you can take with yourself once that judge signs that paper. There is, to be honest with you, once the judge signs the paper, there was like this feeling of weight off of my shoulders once that occurred. But now I had something I can go forward and do. I didn't have to sit into another state of spinning out and being in limbo. I had a plan now. I knew what I could do. I knew what I wanted to do. And now it was just a matter of implementing those things so that I can kind of use that divorce finalization as a springboard into the next phase of my life. So again, if you're stuck in this limbo phase, my heart really goes out to you. It can be very difficult and it can be kind of grueling at times. But just hold on. Things do get better. Again, my name is Josh, and while I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, this channel is not endorsed by the church at all. I'm not a counselor or a therapist. I've just been through a divorce and just trying to help people out with any tips that I learned along the way. Thanks for coming to my channel.